The Trump administration rolling back a number of federal protections for transgender students in public schools. The Obama-era provisions allowed students to use bathrooms that correspond essentially with their gender identity.
Nikki's following this story. And Nikki, the White House says that President Trump believes that the issue should be decided at a state level.
You know, that is what they're saying. So a letter sent to schools nationwide by the Education Department says the earlier directive caused confusion and lawsuits over how it should be applied. And although the Obama guidance was not legally binding, transgender rights advocates say that it was necessary to protect students from discrimination. But opponents argued the federal government should have never gotten involved in the issue.
We will not be beaten down by this administration or any.
Transgender teen Gavin Grimm speaking out in support of transgender youth. Grimm, who is taking his fight over bathroom access at his high school to the Supreme Court, was one of many demonstrating outside the White House on Wednesday. That same day that the Trump administration withdrew Obama-era guidance on transgender bathroom use in public schools. The new guidance rejecting the inclusion of gender identity in the interpretation of Title IX, the federal law that bans sex discrimination in schools. Opposition to the move coming from one of Trump's own inaugural performers, singer Jackie Evancho, whose sister came out as transgender in 2015, tweeted to Trump, quote, "You gave me the honor to sing at your inauguration. Please give me and my sister the honor to meet with you to talk. Hashtag transgender rights." Education Secretary Betsy DeVos was reportedly initially opposed to the draft of the plan, though she was on board with the new guidance by the time it was announced. According to a source outside the government, DeVos reminded Trump that they had both publicly promised to protect all students, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer brushing off any concerns of dissent.
There's no daylight between anybody, between the president, between any of the secretaries.
Spicer responding to questions about a New York Times report that DeVos had opposed Attorney General Jeff Sessions on the guidance.
I think where you might be hearing something is more on the timing and the wording of stuff. The conclusions, everybody in the administration is agreed upon.
The Supreme Court is now set to hear the case of Gavin Grimm, the 17-year-old transgender student from Virginia who you just heard from. Last April, a federal appeals court ruled in favor of Grimm. So he was fighting against a school board policy that really denied him access to the boys' bathroom. Now the board is welcoming President Trump's letter, which would make it so Grimm is no longer allowed to use the boys' bathroom. Arguments in the case are scheduled for Tuesday. Bruce and Jen.